And I told her I don't care if he is her husband. Right now.
It's time to rise from the grave, pour yourself a cup, and enjoy the coffee crypt.
Good morning and welcome back to the Coffee Crypt.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. I was telling you, you already know this, but I saw a TikTok the other day where somebody made, coffee ice cubes to put in their iced coffee. And one of the reasons I don't drink out of my super cool cups all the time is because I hate how fast the ice melts and it waters down my coffee. So I made skull coffee ice cubes and they worked marvelously.
It sounds so good.
Highlight of my day, probably.
And then you could even, like, if you're getting like adventurous, you could even do different flavored coffee for the cubes.
Yeah.
I have to start trying. I think I was telling you I have like a Star Wars, like it's like a whiskey ice mold.
Yeah.
I'll try that. It's gonna be a big chunk of coffee, but it should like.
Yeah, I mean, so this is still they're in here. I can like feel them moving around, but my coffee's super cold and it's not watered down. So goal accomplished.
That's so smart.
I love TikTok sometimes.
You learn things, and and once you learn it, you feel like, that's so obvious, but you don't.
I never thought about it. I was always like, well, I can't use these cups that often because it makes my coffee gross.
Right.
But yeah, how are you?
I'm good. I am good. Our Halloween costumes arrived in the mail. Yes, so we're getting in gear.
Yeah.
My husband brought home our first bag of Reese's pumpkins.
Oh no.
So they're just gonna sit in the house, and I'm gonna try not to have too many, but they're there. So I'm gonna have one tonight, and then try to space it out.
One.
I'm gonna try to be good. I'm gonna try to be good and just kind of like
I don't know if you're allowed.
Although I gotta get the candy corn, because I know we talked about doing a candy corn thing.
Yeah, we gotta find the different flavors. There's different ones.
Yeah.
I think like some wild ones.
I think CVS or like any kind of those store, or like a Dollar Tree, I think they all sell a couple of flavors at least.
Yeah, the Targets and stuff like that don't though, because everybody hates on candy corn. But I actually really like regular candy corn. I think it's yummy.
Me too. I actually do like them.
I like it too. So
I can't eat a whole bowl of them, but
no, I definitely think
at a time.
Yeah, and my kid loves them too. He's like, oh, I'm like, it's candy corn season. He's like, ah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just pure sugar. What's not to love?
That's true. They're fun shapes. They're bright colors.
Yeah, eat one color at a time.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's what I do. I don't know. Is that how most people do it?
I used to. It's kind of like when I was a kid. I used to separate my M&Ms by colors too.
Yep. Or Oreo, you have to crack it open.
It's these weird rituals.
Yeah, we all do them.
Consuming junk. Yeah, we're like in full gear for spooky season, right? Because we're coming up on October and everything is like just kicking in high gear.
I know we got to buy new decorations because I'm tired. I'm getting so tired of the ones we have.
You've had them for a while.
Yeah. We for the first like handful of years we've been here, we do this kind of monster house theme. So my husband made from scratch. He got like poster boards and then like black poster board, and made like white teeth cutouts. And this is we live in a split level, so this is technically the bottom of the house, but you can see it. We put the cutouts in these windows, so it looks like the house has a mouth. And then I'll post a picture of it. And we get these big ceramic eyeballs that we put on the windows above it, so the house kind of just looks like a monster. And then we have like sciencey, like mad scientists, like electrical gear over there.
Cute.
It is cute. It's cute, but after 7-8 years, I'm like, all right.
I'm just something different. Yeah, I get that. I wish that stuff wasn't so expensive to buy. Like, because they always have like really great stuff that I'm absolutely obsessed with, but it's so expensive.
Oh, I'm not going to spend hundreds of dollars on like a freaking 10-foot Jack Skellington,
No, I would. I mean, if I had money to blow, maybe, but
no. I like making them.
Yeah, well, we don't have a yard in our front. Well, we don't really have one in our back either. We live in a townhouse, so we don't really have like We don't really have a yard. But the other thing is, like, I made a Halloween like welcome sign one time with like witchy kind of vibes, but I don't have a cover thing here, so it would like I feel like it would get destroyed if I just left it because it rains so much here that I
Yeah.
feel like if I made one and went through all the trouble of painting it and making it, it would get demolished. So I'm like, ugh, you know.
I know this is what the weather sucks. That's something you always gotta like. If you make something, you have to try to like weatherproof it if you can.
Yeah, and it's a pain to
Yeah.
do. So yeah, so we don't really decorate for Halloween on the outside. We've got stuff up on the inside, but like I started a Halloween village this year, so I'm gonna try to
Ooh.
keep adding to that and building it. But it's, I mean, let's be honest, it's not going up. It's gonna be out all the time, but it's really cute. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping to do some more. And Oliver really likes putting out the stuff for Halloween. So that's been kind of fun putting stuff around the house.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not really tired of the things that we have inside. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, I got this really cool Madame Leota globe thing I
Oh,
got from
cool.
Disney World.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put like water in it and like it steams up around her and it
Oh,
like
very cool.
does her incantation. It's my
That's really
favorite thing.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so gearing up.
Yeah. We are in our best time of year for those of us that are big horror fans.
Oh, I posted my AMC tickets. I got my back to
Oh,
back.
I saw that.
Yeah, well, my 3 A-list spots are taken up by horror right now, and it's gonna be like that for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that time of year. And then, which I think is probably pretty evident based on like our lineup for today and especially like how close
Mhm.
these dates are and stuff. Cause yeah, it's definitely that officially that time of year.
I mean, we got stuff all October to talk about. It's gonna be a busy month with good
Yeah.
stuff too, like things that I think are gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Um, so yeah, let's jump into it. So our first trailer that we got to talk about is the House LLC, the Carmichael Manor. That comes out on Shutter October 30th.
Mhm.
I'm well, and I know you know this because and most people do, I think, that have been around watching the show for a little while. I'm a
Mhm.
huge found footage fan. I really liked the first one. I do think it is not quite the amazing thing that people make it out to be. I think it's fine. I think it works. It's effective until the ending, and then the ending ruins it. But I hated 2 and 3. So going into this trailer, I was like, ugh. And coming out of the trailer, I'm like, ugh, because I don't really feel like it's gonna be better than 2 and 3. I think that you can see the increase, which I think you posted about
Mhm.
this, or maybe you said this to me or you posted about it, but the budget
I
increase.
tweeted, it
So
looks like a better made movie.
it does. The house itself is great. What looks like is going to be the situation inside the house, I'm really skeptical, which I'm hoping it's more because, like, in this trailer, we really just get a lot of the buildup for the story. We don't get a lot
Mhm.
of actual, like, we get to see the clown. We get to see clowns. We get to see a couple
Mhm.
like cloaked figure type things,
Right,
but
like the cult kind of stuff.
the
Yeah.
cult energy, right? Which and if you've been watching the other movies, you know a little bit about some of this
Right.
story anyway. It's not all new information, I don't think.
Mhm.
Um, but I walked out of it, or when it got to the end, I was kind of like, I mean, I'll watch it, I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
obviously, but I don't know, like the trailer didn't really hype me up. I'm hoping they just are holding everything close to the chest and it's going to just be really, really good, or at least get kind of back to the atmosphere of one, because one was really effective literally until the end. Like there's some shots in one that are like, ooh,
Yeah, yeah.
and I wanted to kind of get back to that, and this didn't make me feel like it was. So I'm a little nervous about it. But what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, no, I got this. Like immediately, I noticed that the budget seemed better. Like good location, the
Yeah.
camera looked good.
Mhm.
I was a little like I'm curious, like how much of a this is a prequel, right? No, it's a sequel because they mentioned the Abaddon.
The creator said it's neither,
It's neither, so it's happening probably at the same time.
perhaps, because it's at a different location altogether.
Yeah, they mentioned the Abaddon.
They do.
So
They talk about the people. Somebody mentions, yeah, they said they stayed at this hotel and they came
yeah,
back here and things got kind of wild.
right. So it's a side story, or it's like a side quel,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah, but they specifically said it's not a prequel or a sequel. So I guess
So
it's
it's in universe
in
kind of movie.
universe.
It's a
It
connected. It's a multiverse.
connects. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
curious, but then like is it connected? Because why are we seeing clowns, right? Like why would we see the same things
The
in both?
same clowns.
Right. Like, so yeah, it has to be connected in some way.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll be curious again. Like, yeah, the suspense doesn't come through in the trailer. I think it's probably I like the trailers that play out like one suspenseful scene. You get a
Leans
vibe,
one.
and
Yeah.
then that's it. Like it chapter 2,
Yeah.
the trailer for that. There was like that one long scene at the beginning with Mrs.
Mhm.
Kirsch. I'm like,
Yep.
I like that. I like just having
Yep.
like a scene.
Yeah.
They should have done something like that. You know.
That's not, yeah.
Because it doesn't translate the suspense, which the first one
No.
does really well.
I agree. And I think one of the things that's true is that, House LLC as a franchise has a bit of a cult following
Mhm.
now, which I think is probably why we got the bigger budget, right? Is because they were able to do that because
Yeah.
people really love this franchise, which is, I mean, I'm all for people loving whatever they love. Especially if it's found footage. I'm always like, yay, more people loving found footage. But so the people who love Hell House LLC as a franchise, like all of them, everybody that I know is like super pumped about this, like very like saw
Mhm.
the trailer, is so excited, loves the whatever, like, and I was just kind of left like, oh, please don't be like 2 and 3. That's all I could think.
That's same. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I think 2 and 3 have like I like concept. Like, that's the thing is, I think they had big concepts. They had poor execution.
And that's exactly, in my opinion, what happened at the end of 1. They built up this big event, and then it was like, what is that? I
Right.
was
Like,
so disappointed.
yeah. That's yeah. I think because
Yeah.
they have these big ideas, which is like you can't blame it on it being found footage because I think you very well could have it executed well. But I think it was just they just missed the mark, and that's okay. They have.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them the opportunity. I'll probably watch this on the 30th.
Same.
It's not going to get a Halloween viewing. I'm going to do it the night before. That way, I can
I
save my
have
faves.
Yeah, well, I'll be out trick or treating, and by the time I get home, I will only have time for like one movie, and it's going to be Halloween because I do that every year. So
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
yeah, I have to watch that on Halloween, or I'll feel strange on the inside. So yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
we'll see. I will watch it. I'm going to go in cautiously optimistic, but I really did not like 2. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I could get through 3. I think I turned it off. I think I was messaging you when I watched it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
I
think.
think
Oh, yeah, I remember
we
you
were
were.
like
Yeah.
texting about it, and I eventually was like, I'm
Mm.
just
I think I like 3 more than 2, if I'm remembering, because
yeah.
I think there were some characters in 2 that I was like, I can't watch you anymore. Wasn't there one character? She was just like really, really whiny, like super whiny, like beyond like in 2, right? Is that the one
Mhm.
I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't. I was like, girl.
I really liked the guy in 3 that was like over I don't know what his official role was, but he was like the organizer or something as they're
Yeah.
getting ready. I really liked his character, and I really liked some of so I do think character-wise 3 is stronger, but I think story and scare-wise it was
Mhm.
easier for me to like 2 than it was 3. 3
Fair
just
enough.
got like really out there for me. So I'm hoping this will kind of
Yeah.
reel it in, make it a more focused story, and be able to get back that atmosphere that 1 had, because that was great.
Well, you know why I think I like 3 too is because it's based on like Sleep No More, which I love Sleep No More. It's that play in this it's the live dinner theater kind of thing in the city. Like so it's based on it's so fun. So you
Mhm.
go into the I want to say Carmichael Theater, but this movie is called Carmichael, so I don't think it's Carmichael.
Yeah.
I forgot what the name of the theater is. Oh, McKittrick Hotel. That's what it's called.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
go in and everyone has to wear this like white mask. Like all the audience and then you go into like a bar, you can have a glass of absinthe, you can like it's like a whole 20s kind of vibe, but the whole
Yeah.
thing is Macbeth. So
Okay.
but it's like a 20s like cop drama kind of with some magic and murder and mayhem. And then but you get to follow actors around and you can kind of get any different perspective of the story.
That's cool. So
It's
you don't
really
participate, you're still a spectator, but it's like in it.
yeah, but you're just following the actors
Oh,
around and
that's
like
cool.
you're
I
in
like
it.
that. Yeah.
And then what happens is because yeah, no matter what path you take, and what's really cool is like you may be the only person in that night to get like a certain element of the story. Like I've heard of people, someone will go to someone and they'll be like, I have to show you something. And then they'll take you into like a dark room and then only you get the scene.
That's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, this is what they were doing in 3, right?
Okay, okay.
So
I
like
got you.
that's why I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I kind of like that.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. But we'll
Yeah.
see. I'm gonna give it a shot. You
Yeah,
know,
me too. We'll see how it goes.
I'll be looking forward to your text like this is BS.
I know. Live texting
Like I
it.
was right.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I'm not completely thrown off from the franchise. I'll give this a
Yeah.
shot. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So starting a string of there's a bunch coming out October 13th.
So much.
So much. So we have 3 big things that we're going to talk about. Suburban Screams, which is a John Carpenter presentation, anthology series on Peacock. So what this is it's one of those kind of based on true story reenactment anthologies.
Yeah,
You know, this one feels like a cut above the rest
I
because
agree.
I tend to not really watch a lot of these just in
Same.
general because
Yeah.
I'm like the acting's not always that great,
It's
and then
usually really cheesy.
it's
Yeah.
usually really really cheesy, right? If something on like TLC or the ID or
Travel Channel or
whatever, like all
whatever it
those
is. Yeah.
channels, right?
Yeah.
But this one feels like the reenactment side is really like it's gonna be like high budget short horror films
Yeah. I agree.
mixed in with some interviews. So I'm digging it. You know, we have like an
Yeah.
axe killer and all these like elements mixed in.
Yeah.
I mean, curious though, like how loosely based on a true story these are. But
Always the question.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think we just have to go in with a grain of salt, knowing like there's like
It's
2
gonna be stretched.
details,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
what's your take? I'm excited though.
Yeah, I mean the same as pretty much what you said. I tend to stay away from these things. I know you and I have had this conversation of like, was the Dahmer decision by Netflix a really bad one, and like kind of questioning bringing these things up and re-talking
Mhm.
about them but I do think that you're right in the sense that I think this plays a little bit more close with obvious fiction, right? Like,
Right.
because like you said, these just seem like horror shorts. They're meant to be scary. They're
Yeah.
not meant to just be informative or to
Yeah.
stretch the truth or to give you this piece of information. They're meant to be entertaining, which I think will have you going in with a little bit more mindset of like, this is not real,
Yeah.
versus when you watch, I'm using Dahmer as an example because it's one of the more recent ones, but you go into Dahmer and you're like, oh my God, that's awful. And then you're like, oh, none of that happened. Oh, okay. Like it's completely
Yeah.
different. This I feel like is very clearly more like an adaptation of a real situation versus like trying to make you feel like this is what happened. So, and I mean,
And victims
Carpenter,
are involved,
yeah,
which is different, which totally
sure,
paints it like these people are like, yeah, I'll tell my story. You can show it however you want to show it.
exactly. Good point. Well, and of course, people are freaking out because this is Carpenter, right? So everyone's like,
Yeah,
everyone's like, oh my God. So
I know.
there's
It's just
that.
cool that he's getting. I mean, we've had Guillermo del Toro had an anthology. Now
I love
Carpenter's
his
getting an
anthology.
anthology.
Give it. I want all of
Give
it.
them all. Give all these legends, right?
I love anthologies in general. Like I have
Yeah,
such a soft spot for them. Books, movies, shows, whatever. Throw me a bunch of stuff together that does not go together. Or even if the anthologies that exist that do make them go together, I'm here for that too. But yeah, no, I think this is gonna be good. I think I'm excited. And the production value is gonna be super high. So should be good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
again, it's October 13th on Peacock.
Yeah. And so next, because we finally got like our full length, we talked, I think, briefly about the teaser.
Yeah.
Like last episode or maybe the episode before. But we finally got our official trailer for the Goosebumps series. That's also coming out on October 13th on Disney Plus. And so we are like, I think I said this when we talked about the teaser, but I like that this isn't like silly frou-frou family Goosebumps. There's a time and place for Jack Black Goosebumps, and I'm past it. Like I don't want that anymore. Like I want something more serious, and I think this is going to deliver that.
Definitely.
I think this is going to be more serious. There's going to be some layers to this. It doesn't appear like it's going to be overly dark, but then if it was, it wouldn't really feel like Goosebumps. It has to toe the line between the two things, I think.
Exactly.
And we talked about this, and then I finally saw it when I watched the trailer, but it looks like it's going to have elements of The Mask, Cuckoo Clock, of Doom, Say Cheese and Die, Eat Worms, and maybe Night of the Living Dummy. I think it was it.
Yeah, Slappy is in the trailer.
Slappy. We see him
Yeah.
a brief shot of him,
Very
right? And then they did show a poster recently that had him front and center, which I think was a mistake, but it is what it is. It's already done. I think the reveal for him should have been held off. I don't think we should have gotten him
Yeah.
on a poster. But anyway, but yeah, so I mean, my thoughts on this is it's got some of my favorite ones. You and I talked about The Mask being one of the scarier ones. That was one of my, like, that one scared me so bad. And it looks like it's going to be a really cool mini stories, like all in this cohesive overall plot.
Mhm.
And it looks like it's going to be kind of dark and a little uncomfortable. So I thought it looked really good. I'm actually
Yeah.
really excited to check it out.
It's got like a weird mix of like Goosebumps meets like Are You Afraid of the Dark as
I thought
well,
that the
because
Are You Afraid of the Dark is, yeah, like, yeah, I agree.
yeah, because you're getting this core group of kids who are like telling the stories, but the Goosebumps element is like it's all really happening to them.
Right.
So it's like a cool kind of amalgamation of the two.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, oh yeah, I'm in, and I think we don't have it written down, but I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, it's like a 4 or 5 episode premiere. So we're gonna
Yeah.
get like half the season in one night,
Yeah.
which will be
That's
cool.
going to be a bingey thing because I'm definitely going to probably watch
Yeah,
that.
and then you kind of spend the rest of like October weekly, and like it might go into like maybe the beginning of November, and that's
There's
it.
going to be so many shows and so many things coming out that we'll have plenty to fill the void in the meantime while we're
Oh
waiting
my
on
gosh,
this.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, but that looks really good, and that's also on Friday the 13th. So, we talked about being upset, or I talked about being upset about the fact that, like, I felt like we were being robbed of like a big release for Friday the 13th in October, and here we are talking like a bunch of shit that comes out October
Yeah,
13th.
but it's on TV. We don't have to even go to the theater for
We
it.
don't even have to go. So I think we're still gonna get like our deserved
Yeah.
horror Friday the
Take that,
13th
Taylor
in the month of
Swift.
October. Yeah, exactly. So so that one comes out also on Friday the 13th. So lots to do that weekend.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
then lastly, on the same night, so there's gonna be plenty to binge that night.
Yeah.
Dark Harvest, which I know, like I think has been talked about for a while.
Yes,
Got
because it's a
got
book.
delayed from the pandemic.
Yep.
But we got a trailer for that. And the plot for Dark Harvest is a legendary monster called October Boy terrorizes residents of a small Midwestern town when he rises from the cornfields every Halloween with his butcher knife and makes his way toward those who are brave enough to confront him. I'm excited because this feels like a better Children of the Corn.
I'm not even joking. I had the exact same thought.
Like we are getting like I guess it's Children of the Corn. It's just so silly. I mean,
It
they're
is.
fun, but they're so silly.
Yeah, and it's and at its core, it could be something not silly, and it just wasn't
Yeah.
delivered that way. And then they just kind of leaned into it after a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated the remake. The remake was terrible. And so yeah, I think this look, you know what this also gave me vibes of, and I'm sure you've seen it. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark,
Mm-hmm.
the movie. So it reminded me of
Love it.
like the Harold story from that, and
Yeah.
just like because there is something super uncomfortable about cornfields. There's Children of the Corn, there's the Harold story from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, there's Signs, lots of stuff happening in cornfields. So, and I really love the mask that the
Mm-hmm.
kids wear.
Oh
That
yeah,
looks
like the
really good.
skeleton kind of the white mask, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those looked really good.
They almost remind me of like Evan Peters' face in American Horror Story.
I thought the same thing. Yeah, we're on the
Yeah.
same page with this one.
Same
Yeah,
same idea.
yeah.
As long as they don't whistle the was it Kill Bill song.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can avoid that. That'd be good. But yeah, I thought this looked really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here for it. I love that you said that about Children of the Corn, though, because swear to God, I thought the same thing when I watched it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, thankfully, we're gonna get something better for this kind of story.
Sorry, Stephen King. Although it's not his fault that the movies stink.
No, it's not his fault. Yeah,
No, you keep on writing. We love you, Stephen.
yeah. What'd you think of the story on this?
The story seems good.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I just wonder like what the underlying messaging is going to be. Like, what's your kind of take?
yeah. I mean, I think like, well, I like this whole like, I don't know what you'd call it. This like, this small town like, uh taking care of business kind of thing, which was
Yeah.
what I loved about Halloween Kills. Y'all can come for me if you want to. It was a fun movie. But I
Yeah.
love that. I'm like, these groups of people, like, we're not taking this anymore. And they're like, we're
Mhm.
gonna, like it's not quite the same thing, obviously, as Halloween Kills, but very similar in that they're like, we have to do this to protect our town. And I really like that. I thought that was really cool. As far as I'll be curious to see how they stretch that into like a full-fledged story for, however, this runtime's probably going to be like 2 hours probably, because that's what most of
It's
them
two
are.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So just kind of stretching it into that time frame and filling it up without it becoming redundant. I'll be curious
Yeah.
because I'm sure there's more. There was a reason that one of the guys in the trailer like couldn't go fight him, and he's like, I'm gonna do it anyway. And there's like, what does
Mm-hmm.
that, why does that matter? Does it actually matter? So there's some
Yeah.
things I think that they're gonna, add in to hopefully kind of make it a bigger story than just as simple as it kind of seemed in the trailer. But I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think you're right though with the Halloween Kills connection. I do. That's why I love it too. I love the idea of like them tackling mob justice a little bit and
that's
like,
it. Mob justice.
and
That's
like,
a great way to put it. Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, in the case of obviously Michael Myers, it's right. But then clearly, if you're gonna cock the gun, you got to know where to aim it, right? Because that's the problem with mob justice, right? It's like
Sure.
when it's not organized,
Yeah.
you know, people fall out of hospital windows.
Yeah. That got scary, sad, like very fast. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's similar. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and but like so I feel like maybe that we might be getting a little bit of that here.
Yeah.
But I'll be curious. I mean, I love that it's a streaming movie. I'll probably watch this.
Sign me
That
up.
well, let's see. I'm gonna have to do. I mean, I don't know if I could watch everything. It's a Friday night, so I'll have time. Where I'm gonna have to be a little choosy. It might be this and Goosebumps. Suburban Screams might have to wait.
Yeah. I won't be missing Goosebumps either.
No, Goosebumps. I'm going right in, and honestly, my husband might actually watch it. So
Oh, that'd be good.
yeah. I can probably convince him to watch that. So there you go. More reason enough then.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So next is another found footage movie. So we got the trailer for VHS 85, which drops on Shutter October 6th. Love this. I love this franchise. My favorite of the franchise is VHS 94.
Mhm.
99 was really weak for me because it had so many stories that were horror comedies, and I just bleh. But we got the trailer for this, and this feels like they got these tapes from 85. Like I love the look of this so far.
Yeah.
I love that it looks super disjointed. Like it looks like, I'm sure the stories make sense, but I love the way that it looks like it was shot very like kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Very, very home movie, right? And I love that. It looks like it's gonna go kind of back to, at least I hope, kind of back to its like normal horror things where it's like not silly or funny. It's very like dark and crazy. Like it looked like it's gonna have a lot of gore.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really get a taste of any of the stories as far as what is actually going on, but I'm not mad about that.
No, we got bloody bodies on beds. We've got some creature stuff going on.
It looks like a pretty, and it's 5 films, so it's going to
Yeah.
be, or 5 tapes, and then it does have an overall story, but all of them do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, I think this looks really. I'm just really excited to check it out. I mean, I think as long as they make these, I'll continue to watch them. So long as they don't lean too much into the comedy stuff, but
Yeah.
I think it's such a consistent franchise, though. Like, it looks good to
Right. I
me.
think save for like for me, really save for viral.
Viral wasn't super great. That's true.
You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
I think 99 still beats that one.
No, I agree. Viral is my least favorite. 99 would be my second least favorite, but
Yeah.
94 was my favorite, and it came out way
94 is
after the fact.
fantastic.
But
That
94 is so
the
good.
Android episode or the
Oh,
Android film,
that's my favorite one.
freaking best. The best.
Reminded me so much of Silent Hill. I know that
Mhm.
it's not, but there's some elements to that creature
Yeah.
design or the whatever you want to call it. It like I was like, so good. Anyway.
It was just so heartbreaking too. Like, yeah, like that's a great, I think tonally, right? It's scary in a different way. It's
Mhm.
upsetting. It's sad. It's emotional, right? Love that. But anyway, I'm in for this. Right. We don't really get much of a sense of like what the story is, like even like what the through line, because they're usually all connected. Like, why do they find the tapes? I
Yeah.
would be remiss if we don't get like, because it's the 80s, right? So, and people are just getting their hands on these like VCR recorders,
Mhm.
right? We're going from like Super 8, like
Yeah.
film to
Yep.
this, right?
To
So really
these. Yep.
this is really the birth of VHS, right?
Yeah. Perfect time
Um,
frame. Yep.
yeah. So I'll be curious. I hope we get Poltergeist references. Like, don't like rip off Poltergeist, but just like little
Some
moments.
touches on 80s horror, right?
80s horror, right? Give us a little bit of like Poltergeist, Close Encounters, which was Close Encounters
Mhm.
80s as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Late
Um,
80s, I think, but still
right.
80s. But
But
either
like,
way, I mean, I
yeah,
think it'll be a great opportunity for there to be some nods to 80s horror
yeah,
because 80s horror is one of those things that people like still talk about all the time. Everyone's like, I
yeah.
love 80s horror, like everybody, And it's yeah, I mean, I think it would be a missed opportunity for sure.
People
But
clamor for more found footage slashers. So it'd be cool if they gave us like a found footage like Jason
be
kind of
cool.
situation, right? Like that's
Yeah,
my hope is maybe we get a cool slasher, we get
that'd
a
be great.
really cool nod to Poltergeist, maybe some supernatural situation.
Yeah.
Um that would be my hope. You know,
Yeah. I
really
mean,
lean in.
they usually do mix them up, thankfully. And I think like the overall story, the only thing we really got was like the girl sitting with the two cops and they're like, "What? How did you get these tapes?" Right. And
Mhm.
that's like our, but I'll be curious because there's like a scene in the trailer where she gets up and does something under the table
Mhm.
when the cops aren't in there. And I'm like, "Ooh, where's this going?" But anyway, I think no, I think this looks really great. I'm like, I'm here for the VHS. And it's so funny because I feel like they got traction with 94. Like 94 came out 3 years ago. They got or 3 years ago. So they did 94 and they were like, oh, people will watch these. And then they did 99 and now they're doing 85. And I think
Yeah.
it's great. Like
The
keep
year,
making
yeah,
it.
as soon as they transitioned to the year anthology format,
Oh, it was all game on.
boom. Because there
Yep.
you could do so much.
True.
You could do one and set in the future.
They could. They should do a Y2K one.
Yeah,
Like
I was
just
surprised that
like
99 didn't like lean a little bit more into that.
Yeah, it had that one that was getting
Had
it's
the
like, "Oh,
one.
it's New Year's," but it wasn't all about, like,
No. I mean,
the
they could do like a
2000s.
00, like VHS
Yeah,
00 would be
yeah,
great.
yeah, I agree. So
Um,
so
yeah.
October 6th on Shudder, VHS 85, and, of course, like, the 2 found footage ones, Tom and I are gonna cover on Found Footage Fridays. We're gonna do House LLC, and we're gonna do VHS 85.
Oh yeah.
So we'll have full reviews on those once they come out.
Mhm. You guys might get like quick little short reactions from me. If I watch it, I might just like the 60-second, I liked it. And then I'll pass it off to you guys for the
I
full
liked
review.
it. Yeah.
But I might if I really love it, I might be so inclined just to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. All right. So on the 12th, so the day before Friday the 13th, we are getting Mike Flanagan's The Fall of the House of Usher, based on Edgar Allan Poe's story, which has been adapted before. We had the
Yep,
Vincent Price classic.
yep,
But what we're getting here is more than just Usher. We're getting kind of an amalgamation of different Poe stories. So
yeah,
we're getting The Raven, we're getting
yep,
probably The Telltale Heart. We're getting
mhm,
a little bit of everything here.
mhm, yep,
And the story, I'm in on this like crime family who's getting their comeuppance. They're getting taken to court. Apparently, there's a deal with the devil of
yep,
sorts, and the devil has come to collect.
yeah.
And I love that she's being played by Carla Gugino,
I
who I
mean, yeah.
great. I mean, with the eye sticking out, that one scene.
Where she's just like, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah, she's like, oh, you know.
No big deal.
No big deal. But the cast too, like I mean, we're getting so many of his returning people, right? We're getting his wife, we're getting
Yeah.
who's back, but totally blanking on her name now, which I'm so bad. But I think we're getting Raul Coley, who I
I
love.
love him.
He's fantastic.
He's great.
We're getting back Kate Flannery, right? That's his wife, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
No,
he's
Kate
very
Flannery.
Rob Zombie in that
Isn't
regard,
Kate
but
Flannery from The Office? Hold on. Who is this? Never mind. I'm like losing my mind. But anyway, but newcomers, we're getting Mark Hamill.
yep.
And then who else is
The guy that's playing the head of the family, I'm blanking on his name. He's somebody too, though, that I don't think was in the others.
so
And then we're also
mm,
getting back the guy that played the dad in Hill House.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So the dad from Hill House, so that's Henry Thomas.
Yeah, he's in it.
I think he's playing the head of the family. So I think I think he's in like aged makeup.
Oh, I thought it was somebody else. Okay.
I think. So
And
because
then
Mark Hamill's Arthur Pym, I don't know if he's a lawyer or someone, but oh no, yeah, you're right. Sorry, Bruce Greenwood is playing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. He's
And
the
then
head of
Mark
the family.
Hamill, I guess, is playing someone.
And then the woman that played the nanny that was actually dead in Bly Manor. She's in
I
it
love
too.
her.
I love her too.
Oh my gosh, she's not even on the main.
She's great though. So I mean, yeah, the cast is spectacular. Yeah. Not shocked at all that he picked a lot of these people though.
No, they all work. So I mean, this is the new American Horror Story, but what American Horror Story wishes. Like this whole Mike Flanagan thing. I mean, I know it's not technically a Haunting of Hill House sequel, but
it definitely feels that way, though. You still get the same energy, though, that you got when you watched Hill House and Bly Manor.
Right, Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, and
Midnight Mass.
This is all the same show to me.
He literally has not touched. He hasn't done a single show that I haven't eaten up. Like I absolutely love all three of those.
Yeah,
Bly Manor was so heartbreakingly good. Hill House is terrifying. Midnight Mass was phenomenal.
I mean, really.
And he makes horror about people, which I think is what makes them so effective and makes them feel like you can feel them when you're done watching, you know, like it's just, it's crazy. Like his horror is so human, you know?
Yeah. Well, he knows how to write characters.
Oh my God, does he?
Really incredible, well-rounded, three-dimensional people with motivations, fears, and like strengths and weaknesses, everything. Like,
yeah, totally agree.
But yeah, I mean, the visuals in this alone look beautiful.
Yeah, stunning.
Like there was a scene where like they're sitting like on the armchairs and like a body falls between them.
And they're just wild. Like, yeah.
There's like I don't know, there's a Carla Gugino or someone's like jumping up on the table. Like there's somebody.
It was her.
It was her, right? Some really cool creature.
That's the scene when they're doing Nevermore, where they're saying Nevermore,
Nevermore, and then it repeats.
And then, yeah.
Oh man, so like I'm trying to think. I mean, well, I like that they all seem to be playing slightly different characters, though, right? Yeah. Like Raul Coley playing a total jerk, but that's so funny in that one scene that
Staten,
the Staten, where they're like silk for poor people.
Yeah, he's like, no one should ever wear this unless to a funeral, unless they're going in the casket.
right. So funny.
Love it.
Such a different character. Oh, we're getting some new other new people though. Mary McDonald, who I love.
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
So Mary McDonald she played Jill's mom in Scream 4.
Oh, okay.
But she was in Donnie Darko. She played the mom in that. She's in Battlestar Galactica. She plays the president.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's great.
Okay.
And then we're getting Willa Fitzgerald, who is in the Scream TV series, right?
I know who that is.
Yep. And then who else? I think, as far as that I can notice, those are the newbies.
Yeah.
But we're getting just mostly all of his returns. I mean, for the most part, from Haunting and Midnight Mass.
The Midnight Mass, yeah.
I'd be curious if he could get what's her name in another one of these, Heather Lennenclamp, because she did the kids one. Yeah, I feel like she'd do really good in one of the more like adult serious ones.
Yeah, I also would really like to see more of the guy that played the pastor, whatever they're called. They're not called pastors. What are they called in the
preacher? You're talking about
the guy with the kind of wavy hair. Short.
Yeah. I'm totally blanking on his name.
I loved him. He was so good. I would love to see him in
Henry Linkletter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was also in a show with what was that? New Adventures of Old Christine. It was a sitcom. It was with Elaine from Seinfeld.
Oh, okay.
Brother.
I would like to see more of him in horror specifically because he was great. He was so great in Midnight Mass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's funny you mentioned that. I would really like. I think David Dastmalchian would be really good in one of his shows.
Who's that?
David Dastmalchian he plays like Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad movie. He was in Smile. No, he wasn't in Smile. He was in Was he? He might have been in Smile. He was in the Boogeyman.
The new one, I haven't seen it.
To my phone. Let me show you real fast. I'm gonna pull him up real fast.
You know, I don't know anybody by their names.
He's in. You see Ant-Man? Did you ever see Ant-Man? No.
No.
He does like, so he would do some of the stuff on Shudder. That guy.
I know who that is.
Yeah.
He was in the Belko Experiment.
Yes. Yep. Oh, of course. Now
I think it balanced out, didn't it? Okay.
No, I'm blurry.
Wiggle around a little bit.
Wiggle. I was making my son laugh because they were saying like shake, shake, shake on Blue's Clues or something.
Oh my
God. We were doing shake, shake, shake. Oh, yeah. Hello. Come on. No. I'll just get really close to the camera.
It's straightened up then. There we go. That's better.
A little bit. I feel blurry, but maybe that's, I don't know, my vision's going. I don't know. My eyes are playing tricks on me. Anyway, long story to...
I know who he is.
Looking forward to the show.
The guy training with the racist from The Walking Dead in Belko Experiment. So I know who he is.
Yes. I think
Merle.
Really good.
Yeah, he was with Merle.
But anyway, again, so that's October 12th. So I'll try to binge as much of that as I can before everything else comes out the next day.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. And then we finally got our season 3 trailer for Chucky, which I was really late to the game for, but I started watching the first season. It took me forever to get through it. And then I watched all of season 2 in like a couple of days.
And you're done. Yeah.
Once it hit Peacock on my birthday, so it was like meant to be, it hit Peacock, I would like hit the ground running. I was like, and then I was done and I was like, wait, that's it? And so perfect timing. I signed up to get text messages from Chucky. So
me too.
Oh my God, they're so funny. So
I got, like, hey, asshole.
I know, he's like, here you go, you whiny little shits. Here's your trailer or whatever. So we finally got the trailer of Chucky Takes the White House. And
wild. Like, where can they go from here?
I'm so pumped about this. So I love that Devin is like the actor, Devin Sawa, however you say his last name.
Devin Sawa, yeah.
Yeah, I love that he's somebody different like every season.
He's like in his own anthology.
He's the only one.
He's the only one, right? So it's like he's like the returning actor playing someone else. He's like in his own thing.
It's great though. He's fantastic. Good. I love it. I think that
yeah, no, I am still very blurry.
Here, I'll give you a second to see if you want to.
Come on. All right, now. Come on, hello. Getting a little found footagey now. All right, that seems a little bit better. I'm just gonna like really nudge in close to this.
Okay, it does straighten out when you lean in. It's like it's not realizing that you're moving back.
Yeah, it's like, oh, where am I going? Yeah, see.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I think that this looks like a lot of fun. First of all, I'm so glad that we're getting. So when I saw the teaser that came through in a text message from Chucky. I didn't see any of our original 3. So I was like, I didn't like that. And so when the trailer released and we got all of our characters back, I was like, okay, I'm good with this. Like, yeah. So it shows, Tiffany's in jail. We've got Lexi, Devin, and Jake are, we get them back, and Jake and Devin are together. Thank God. I'm telling you, if something happened, I may not ever finish watching the show. They better keep them together. I get so sick of them getting like shows getting you sucked into these love interest stories. And then they just, for no reason, just get rid of them. Like, no, people stay together. Yeah. That is a thing. So stop it.
Right. You don't have to break someone up for drama.
Yes. Cut it out. They're so cute. I love them together so much. So we get like, they're together. And then we get, was it Lexi that goes and visits Tiffany in jail? And we've got Chucky ends up in the White House, and he's got a new kid that he's causing mayhem for. And I think this looks, it's only going to go crazy from here, right? I love it. I know the show's not for everybody, and I get that, but I have really enjoyed it. So I'm excited for the next season.
Way to just keep sticking the landing, right? Like the only slasher franchise to never change direction.
Yeah.
To never reboot, reimagine, requel.
Not yet, but probably
Prequel.
not going to because it just keeps going forward.
Why not? Why just, yeah, I mean, oh wait, they did remake.
Oh, they did remake it. I was just thinking the same thing. But
Ah,
it was weird because they were remaking it at the same time that the show was coming out.
yeah. So it was just like
It just
whatever.
it was like it still continued. It's kind of weird. But anyway.
But Mancini had nothing to do with it, and like Durf, no one had anything to do with it. It was
Yeah,
all
you're
whatever.
right.
I mean,
True.
and it was fine too. It was fine in its own right. Mark Hamill's a good voice actor.
Love Mark
Like,
Hamill. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
they didn't requel it. Like I was just saying, they didn't
No.
like multi-timeline it,
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this looks like so much fun though. I'm really
Mm,
excited about it.
yeah. Oh,
We're
absolutely.
gonna cover it on the show together, right?
Mm,
Because I'm gonna use your thing so I can
yeah,
watch
yeah,
it.
yeah. You'll have my login, and we're gonna do
It comes out next week after next, right? October 4th.
October 4th. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm back in view. It fixed itself. I don't know how.
That was driving you nuts, wasn't it? I could tell. You're just like staring at the thing,
I
like,
I was
stop it.
raging. I was about to. I don't know. Yeah, this camera. I don't know. Logitech. I have to get a new one.
Mine's a Logitech. It's a Brio.
I have to break up. Well, maybe break up with this one. Get a new one. I don't know. Well,
Well,
it
don't
just
say
shuts
that while we're
down.
recording. That might hear you. And
I know. I say that, and now it's like it's gonna be like bye. Turn off. But you know,
yeah,
I'm
so
excited.
that comes out October 4th. So
Yeah, I always feel bad for Nika.
God, I know.
Oh, poor Nika with the freaking arms and the legs, and I don't know what's going on with her now. Well, no, last we saw her, she was hunting down
She's like across the street in the same building, but that's
Tiffany.
before that really crazy shot with the Bell doll turning into Chucky. That was bizarre. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
we really
Oh,
are
right.
going all crazy.
Yeah, yeah. But I
He's like
don't know.
taking his contacts out. I'm like, come on.
Great. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. Well, that brings us over to news and trending.
Yep.
So the first story is a stop motion film called Stop Motion. And so it is going to tell the story of let me see, Franciosi. Oh, stars Franciosi as Ella Blake. Oh, Aisling Franciosi, if I don't know if I'm saying it right. Oh, she was in Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Yep.
I know exactly who she is. Okay.
Yep.
She plays
I
Ella
assume
Blake.
she's the one that talks about Dracula, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's got like the deep accent.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Plays Ella Blake, a stop motion animator who is struggling to control her demons after the loss of her overbearing mother. Suddenly alone in the world, she creates a macabre new puppet film while struggling to maintain her sanity. Oh, so it's not all in puppet in stop motion.
No,
But
it's going to be parts of it though.
parts of
I
it are in
think.
stop motion. Gotcha. But
Yep.
IFC got the rights for it, and will be bringing it to Shudder, I guess, right once it's done with the
festival circuit.
festivals. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you feel? What do you think?
I'm actually really excited. First of all, I love things about like crazy artists. Like whether they're actually crazy or not, doesn't really matter. I just love stuff like that. So like I read a short story recently in a book I got an early copy of that's called The Portrait of the Artist as a something I can't remember. It's the long title. The Portrait of the Artist is something, and it has to do like this artist's son, and it like has to do with his paintings and them changing on there. It gets really crazy. But I also really love the Bloober team did a horror game called Layers of Fear, which I really love, which is all about artists going nuts, basically. So good, so dark, so crazy. So I love this because I think when you incorporate like real world with art, there's so much you can do. And I'm really excited to see how far they push this because first of all, it's so crazy how much effort goes into making stop motion stuff. Like it's a lot of moving parts. It's really slow growing, takes forever, a lot of things you got to redo. So to put this and make it a horror, like oh my God, like so that was the reason I wanted to talk about it actually, because I do think in concept it sounds so wicked, and I'm like I'm pretty pumped about this. I think it's going to be really good.
The image that it comes with actually didn't.
Oh my God.
Reminds me of a little bit of. It reminds me of Nightmare on Elm Street 3 when he becomes the puppet.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that's what it reminds me of. I love that.
It made me think of Mad God.
Oh yeah, yep.
Because Mad God is well, it's a mix of animation styles, but stop motion was one of them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And that was, I know like not everybody gets Mad God, but I loved it. Mad God was my #1 movie for 2021
Wow.
or
High praise.
22, whenever it came out.
I think two.
Two.
Or
I think you're
no.
right. Wait, no.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
What
But
year was
whatever
it?
year it came out, it was my #1 for my top 10 for that year. And I loved it. I think it, yeah, I really, so yeah, that's what it made me think of. It made me think of Mad God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that one, yeah, so no release date. I don't,
No, not
so
yet. It's
we'll
just
just
going
have to
into
keep an eye
festival.
on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last one is Netflix taking on The Devil Made Me Do It and doing a documentary style or whatever on The Devil on Trial is the title of it, but essentially
Mhm.
taking the story that The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It's take on it and then talking about what actually happened. That comes out October 17th. So this is one of the first times, it's not the only, it's because The Exorcism of Emily Rose is another one that's based on a true story that actually went to the court systems for possession.
Mhm.
But this was one that was, I think, heavily advertised, heavily covered. This was in newspapers, like people talked about this case as it was actively going on. And so they're going to kind of dive into that and a little bit more of what actually happened.
Mhm.
And what happened to the guy and the families and everything that was involved. I am curious. One thing I thought of course, when I was seeing the reading the thing about this and I saw the trailer for it was, I wonder how much they're going to talk about the Warrens. And then I wonder like how accurate they're going to discuss
Mhm.
the Warrens, because the
Right.
Warrens are painted as people they are not in the films, or were not, I should say. And so I'm very curious how much of that's going to take up this, or if it's really just going to like
Yeah.
really just try to focus on, you know what I mean? Because they were a big
Yeah.
part of, not a big part. They had actually, I don't think their part was very big at all, but they were part of that story. So I am wondering like kind of how they're going to navigate that, like how much light is going to be shed on like how
Yeah.
crappy they were as people. Like I'm just curious how they're going to like play that.
I think they would have to say something, but
Yeah,
I don't think they're, because it's really not about them, especially if their
it's
part
not.
in it was pretty small. It's about,
Yeah,
yeah. So
it's like
I
Amityville.
but
Yeah,
but I think they should probably mention something,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
But other than that, I'm interested to check it out. I don't know a lot about the case, to be honest. So
Same.
I'm always, and I loved Exorcism of Emily Rose anyway, because I love the concept of taking that possession thing and putting it in like a real life application of like going to court because someone died. Like, I'm
Yeah,
very curious how this, like maybe getting some more information on it through this thing. And yeah,
absolutely. Oh yeah, 100% the same.
yeah, yeah.
I will definitely be checking it out. When does it come out again? That is the 17th. So soon. So once
Mhm.
we've binged everything else,
This comes
um,
at the tail end,
the tail end of that.
right before Hell
Um,
House. Yep.
yeah, I gotta say, I don't really know as much about the case either,
I
to be honest.
don't,
But
I just know what was in the movie.
yeah, yeah. Which I mean, I enjoyed the movie as it was. The first two
I
times
really
it was still
liked
my
the
favorite,
movie.
but I
Yeah,
liked it.
I liked
Well, I
it
also
too.
like. I really love what's his name. The older guy that they got in it. From Fringe, John something.
Is it John something? I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah,
You're talking
yeah,
about the guy that plays the guy that was into like the occult stuff. He was like, did
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
he's great. Yeah. I really like him a lot. Mhm.
Yeah. Nope, but I'll definitely be checking it out.
Yeah, same. Me too.
All right. So that brings us to our shout outs and recommendations. Do
Yep.
you want to kick us off?
Sure. So I was trying to pick an account this time, and so I was trying to think of who I hadn't done it for. And I'll be honest, I never remember. I'm always like, have I done this one before? Because I never remember. But so the account I wanted to give a shout out to is a horror YouTube channel called Sledgehammer Horror. And so they do a lot of things. They do rankings, they do movies, movie reviews, they do verses for like the original versus the remake. I was on their channel to do we did Scream rankings, and then I was on my first horror movie, which is they have like 500 episodes or something of that. So that's crazy. They're a great channel. But the reason I wanted to actually talk about them wasn't just because of their content. But one of the things that, and I know you and I have talked about this in great detail multiple times, it's very difficult sometimes as a content creator, as a female content creator, as someone who's part of the LGBTQ plus community, like you never know who's safe to do content with.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to kind of talk about them because I think that the content they do is phenomenal. It's super great, very entertaining. They're very nice people, but they're safe. but Ken and his wife Ashley are the two that run the channel. They do separate stuff and then they do stuff together. But Ken is, I've done stuff specifically with Ken for their channel, and then Ashley's been on our channel. But Ken is very quick to ask what's okay to say. So, like, for example, when we were getting ready to do introductions for my first horror movie episode, he asked if it was okay if he introduced me as the beautiful angel, right? That's really sweet. A lot of people don't do that. They just say whatever they want. He's very careful of pronouns. He's very mindful of those types of things and how he speaks to people in our community and also women specifically. And I just think it's worth mentioning because not only are they great content creators, and Ashley obviously is the same way. They're very inclusive. They have a daughter that's part of the LGBTQ plus community. They're very supportive across all fronts. And I think it's important because, again, not only is their content really great, they're really great human beings and they're a safe space. And I think it's so hard to find that sometimes, and you don't really know. You're like, oh, is it safe to like interact with these people? I don't know. Like, you never know what you're going to get because as we see on the internet all the time, we think we know somebody, and then it's like, oh my God, they what?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So I wanted to give a shout out to Sledgehammer Horror. I think they have made me feel like a part of their family. They're very inclusive. They're very fun people. And they put out great content also. So if you're not following Sledgehammer Horror, you should be, and we'll make sure that link is in this description for this episode. But yeah, that's my shout out. Sledgehammer Horror, very inclusive, very respectful, funny, great, wonderful people.
Awesome. Check them out, guys.
Yeah.
So mine's a book I finished. I might have mentioned it on the channel. I think I said I was going to cover it. So it's Delicate Condition by Danielle Valentine, which is her pseudonym. It's Danielle Rollins. She's written other books under that name. Okay. But actually, this is the story that's being adapted into the new season of American Horror Story, which I was going to cover. And then kind of in light of everything that's kind of been coming out, Angelica Ross came forward. So those that don't know, Angelica Ross is a Black trans woman, who I believe was in Pose, or I forget what else she was in.
I think that's right.
Yeah, right. She was in 84, and she was in Red Tide. Those 2 seasons. And then just some unfortunate things between her and Ryan Murphy, and also Emma Roberts, who has since apologized, called her and to own up, but it's a start.
Yeah.
But anyway, just kind of despite that, and I wasn't on the American Horror Story bandwagon really since Apocalypse, so
yeah, you were kind of on the fence about
wanting to cover anyway. So I'm like, let me just and I read the book, so I was like, let me. But anyway, this is about the book, not the show.
Right.
The book is phenomenal. Danielle really weaves this like really just heart-wrenching, beautiful tale of like a couple going through IVF and hoping to get pregnant. And like, my husband and I have not gone through that, but I actually have had a lot of people in my life go through IVF and miscarriages and all that stuff. And so like, while I struggle to recommend it to people who may still be struggling with heavy feelings regarding pregnancy and loss and those issues, it really is. I mean, like, just as an outsider, it broke my heart at certain points. But it really was a beautiful story. It really had a great twist. Like, I love, like, it leans into like, you think you're getting Rosemary's Baby, but you're getting something else.
Cool.
At the end of it.
Check that out. I haven't read that.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, so like, and if it's because it feels like Rosemary's Baby, right? Because Rosemary's like a well-known person. So our main character in this book is an actress herself. Okay. So she's kind of in the limelight. She was kind of doing more indie stuff, and then she kind of had this one movie blow up, and now she's famous all of a sudden while trying to conceive. And there's like some shady stuff happening at the clinics, and she's being followed, and all wild things happening. But no, but it was a really good, fast read. So even if you don't watch American Horror Story, at least I would 100% recommend checking out this book.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out for sure. Cool.
But that's all I got.
Yeah. I think that's all I got too. What do we have coming up? We have Daryl this
So I
week?
got another episode of Daryl to cover. That'll I've been getting them out fast.
You have.
So I might be out tonight after you watch this morning.
Okay.
Daryl actually gets premiered early
Okay.
if you have AMC Plus. Or
Oh.
yeah, so I have actually been watching it Sunday and doing it Sunday night just because I had the time, but I've been thinking of maybe even watching it even a day earlier just to kind of, but it's only on for 6 episodes. So we're going to be at the halfway point this week.
Yeah.
And then we got Chucky in a couple of weeks. Shining Vale is not for a couple of more weeks.
Yeah. We don't have a Coffee Crypt next Sunday, but we are going to have a Saw episode with Kat Valor next
Sunday. There'll be a Saw Traps episode.
Yeah.
This is just kind of like a deep tease. A friend of mine is publishing his first book. So we are actually going to have a book interview with him about his first book.
Yeah.
Called Terror Valley. So that's it's an homage to YA horror of yesteryear, very R.L. Stein.
Very exciting.
Cool. Yep. He's sending us advanced copies, so we're going to get a chance to read it. So that way we're a little more.
And then we're going to have him on
as we go in. But
yeah, because it comes out in October. Did you tell me that?
Comes out October 6th, I believe.
So we're going to try to. Ooh, that's going to be a tight fit. Okay.
It's a tight one. I mean, even if we get it right, like maybe right after,
that'll be good. Yeah, and to help promote it.
It's a very quick read. I mean, if you remember Goosebumps books, they were like 150, 160 pages.
And when I commit myself, I can get through stuff fast. It just takes a lot of focus. But so that's coming up this week. On Tuesday is remakes with God. I think is chapter 1, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't remember. And then I don't know what I have on found footage. This past Friday, if you missed it, Found Footage Fridays was Apollo 18, which is a really great sci-fi horror found footage film that you can stream on either YouTube if you have YouTube Red. There's no ads, which is. And then I think it was also on like Tubi or something. But anyway, so we got a lot of fun stuff coming up. October is going to be pretty packed because we're going to do our Siri box whenever they get here. We are like chomping at the bit. We're like checking the phone constantly. Like, but it's purely out of excitement, not impatience.
We're not like mad at them.
We're not mad. We're just very excited.
Like, take your time, pack them with care.
Do them right. But yes, and then we're also going to try to get in a candy corn video.
Yeah. And then we're doing our Halloween live later on.
Our Halloween live, where we're going to dress up and talk Halloween movies with some guests. And so lots of really great spooky stuff coming up. Yeah,
that's for sure.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this Sunday morning. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your week coming up. And Steve and I will see you very soon.
See you soon.
Thank you.